So at the end of the previous chapter, these 3 robots shown up who are allegedly from the organization, and it appears as though they straight up killed Dr. Kuseno. So this chapter's picking up with us seeing Genos reacting to that, and as you expected, he's not too happy. And he immediately starts fighting the big guy, but then it's revealed that all 3 of these robots are disaster level dragons. This is something that I speculated about in the previous review because, you know, they, I guess, look like dragons, and I'm assuming that the organization would only send like super powerful guys at this point because they know how strong Genos is. And another thing is that their names are all Machine God. You know, like what we've seen with most of the organization robots at this point, or at least the ones who randomly show up places. And I thought maybe these guys were like G1, G2, and G3 because of like the eyes that they have. And that still might be the case because the webcomic doesn't call these organization robots like G. It's always been like Machine God and then some random name. The G stuff is for the manga's continuity, so maybe once we see these guys then, maybe they'll be referred to that possibly. So then Genos activates Scorching Core. I'm pretty sure this is like his most up-to-date form that we were aware of, and he starts going after them again using that. But it has like no effect on the machine gods. Then Genos starts showing us other cores that he has, such as like Floating Core, which is self-explanatory, and then Super Magnetic Core, which is also self-explanatory, but more so this one just straight up giving him like metal manipulation to a certain degree, and he creates like this huge metal spear thing. I'm sure this reminded a lot of you of Kid from One Piece, but this too really has no effect on the Machine God either. But Machine God Tech says that's quite a luxurious ability he has. If he could have been able to master it to perfection, he could aim for the top of the hero world. So is he talking about the Super Magnet Core? Because like, I don't see why Genos is overtaking Tatsumaki and Blast if he mastered that. Unless he's just talking about the ability to use like multiple cores, because that's also something I wasn't aware about coming into this chapter. Like before this, I thought that Genos was only using like 1 core per form. Like that core was like the makeup of what he was using at that point. Because I think we originally saw a Lightning Core. That was like the reveal of the new core stuff that Genos was doing. And then we saw Scorching Core, but I don't think it was ever revealed that he can just go through them like he is in this chapter with like the Floating Core and the Magnetism Core. And actually he has more than that because all 3 of them start attacking him at this point, and they're overcoming him because, you know, we got 3 dragons here. Then Genos uses Freezing Core on Machine God Body and actually freezes him with it, but then he goes back to the Lightning Core like I was talking about. The first one I think was revealed, and he hits Machine God Tech with a high voltage tackle. Then he does the craziest thing I think Genos has ever done in the webcomic at this point, and he activates Roaring Dragon Core, and this makes him unhinged. He looks like Mob %% here. And Machine God Ray says a torrent of super high energy, long-term continuation impossible, sustainment limit estimated 30 seconds. So does that mean that this is like Genos' webcomic version of his full power 10 seconds from the manga's continuity? Because that was, I think, first introduced in chapter 94 of the manga. Like after receiving his new upgrade from Dr. Kuseno, he was told that if he were to use the full power of it, he'd only be able to do it for 10 seconds because any more than that and he would just explode. And it lived up to the hype because when he actually did use the full power for 10 seconds, he was able to deflect attacks from like an above dragon, Sairochi. So does that mean that he's that strong in this continuity? Well, there's no way to say for sure yet, but man, it seems pretty comparable. Because after activating this, he defeats all of the machine gods with like 1 or 2 moves. It is absolutely insane how far in power he jumps after just activating the Roaring Dragon Core. And like I said, these are dragons. He just defeated 3 dragons with, you know, relative ease. And this is one of the very few times we've ever seen something like this happen. But the fact that this is like Genos or just a standard hero doing this is ultra impressive. And this is making him easily one of the strongest characters in the series right now. But Machine God Body is still not completely down yet. And he says an ex-human cyborg is better than us top class AI. So confirming that these guys are AI. We knew that the organization sometimes does send out these AI guys like G4, aka Machine God Zimzamov he was like an AI. But we also know that they have like cyborgs too. Then Machine God Body reveals that his true ability is incorporating components from other units to instantly extend and remodel himself. And he says, now that I've pulled in parts from 2 Machine God series units, I'm insanely strong. And then he starts attacking Genos, which reminds me of like Carnage Mode, Carnage Kabuto. And he says, I'll pull you in too, turning me, Machine God Body, into the strongest pillar in the plan. So I'm assuming the plan is the organization's like ultimate goal. But it's also showing you that there's some serious levels to the organization too, because if this guy who was already a dragon at base fused with 2 other dragons, so he's even stronger now. I don't know how strong exactly, but stronger than a low dragon probably. And in this new form, he's implying that he's still not even the strongest in the plan. Obviously, there's organization powerhouses that we haven't seen yet. But anyway, Genos just one-shots this guy with a final smash. Yeah, like I said, Genos is just completely insane in this chapter. But it's not over yet, because there's 7 more robots that show up afterwards, but thankfully Saitama is back now and he just one-shots all of them in a pretty cool sequence. Then they try to take Dr. Kuseno to the hospital, but he's still able to talk, and he reveals the location for the final armor that he made Genos. And it comes with the latest system upgrade too. So is that going to make him stronger than the Roaring Dragon Core? Not really sure. Maybe it'll make him as strong as the 30 seconds full power, but all the time maybe? That would be a little too outrageous. But it has to be somewhat of an improvement over the current one that he has. But then Dr. Kuseno says, for ages I wanted to apologize to you for giving you the power to fight and roping you into my quest for revenge. So like, that's understandable. But what exactly is your quest for revenge? I mean, obviously you're going after the Mad Cyborg, but like, why? Who is the Mad Cyborg? How do you know him? Why are you going after him? There's so much that Dr. Kuseno hasn't said. Now that he's dead, it's like, what's going on? Is this just going to be revealed posthumously, like through Drive Knight or Metal Knight or something? But then Genos says, hashtag Kuseno did nothing wrong and thank you for everything. Then we cut to Genos getting the new upgrade, and it looks pretty cool. And he says to himself, somehow the enemy caught wind of the information we obtained. Probably because you were talking to Drive Knight a couple chapters back. So then him and Saitama start to head out, and Genos says, I'm heading to destroy Metal Knight's research facility immediately, and Saitama says, right, I'll go too. They're still under the assumption that Metal Knight is the big bad here. Then they notice that a city is being attacked, and there's like planes and buildings going down. We see Child Emperor, Excel, and Blue reacted to this too, and it appears that there's all of these robots in the city like lighting it up. Another interesting thing about this is that they all look like the Metal Knight robots. So in my opinion, this is because the organization has purposely done this to make them look that way so they can further put the heat onto Metal Knight. And this is pretty much what Drive Knight has been doing this whole time, like trying to make everyone think that Metal Knight is the true big bad here, projecting all of his machinations onto him so that he can continue to hide in plain sight, but also take out his biggest competitor at the same time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you think Metal Knight is the true big bad? Do you think Saitama is just gonna one-shot everyone? Let me know, and if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.